Hello everyone, Omi Tofo. Welcome back to our English Dharma class sessions. And today in these sessions, we are going to explore the path of searchings of enlightenment through the practice in Chan Buddhism. In Chan Buddhism, there are various ways of practice in various different schools. And today we are going to introduce one of a well-known Chan master through his path of searching of his own enlightenment, and he drew it down using the ox as his tool to introduce to us the stages of experience and feeling when we are doing meditation and when we are searching our way through enlightenment. So today in these sessions, we will go through stage by stage how we feel when we experience meditation. The topic for today is called the 10 ox herding pictures, or some people call it as the 10 bulls. Chinese is called 十牛. Japanese is called jogu. It's in the traditions of Chan Buddhism, or in Japanese they call it as the Zen Buddhism. It's a series of short poems and accompanying woodcuts that are intended to illustrate the stages of a Mahayana Buddhist practitioners, progressions towards enlightenment, as well as his or her subsequent professions of wisdom. The pictures first appear in their present form, as drawn by the Chinese chant or Zen master called Guo An Shi Yuan in the 12th century, and may represent a chant Buddhist in interpretations of the 10 stages experienced by a Bodhisattva or a meditation practitioner as guideline in various Mahayana sutras, most particularly the Avatamsaka Sutra. So in here, these 10 ox herding pictures tell us about the stages of a Bodhisattva practicing or a meditation practitioner. They practice in searchings of themselves, of their true nature, from the beginning of unknowing to the end about how they experience the life again in a new form. So that is about the 10 ox herding pictures. And in here, you can look at these pictures. It's from one stage to another stage to another stage. So from here you can see the arrow going as in flow. We can't change the pictures or sort the pictures because it has its own stage or its progress. So we have to know about the stage one by one as accordingly. So the first stage, stage 1, as according to the poem. In the glass land of this world, I endlessly push aside the tall glasses in search of the ox, following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating path of cold mountains. My strength weakening and my energy exhausted. I cannot find the ox. I only hear the wind blowing through the forest at night. In this stage, the ox, in a way, has never been gone. It's never run away. And what is the use, or why do we need to search for him if he's in here? The reason is because we, the practitioner, has violated our own inmost nature. The ox is lost, but it's still there. It's just like we did not see it. We lost it. Because the practitioner has himself been lit up of the way through his deluding senses. He is far away from his home, and he is confused on the byways and crossways. Because of the desire of gain and fear of the loss, of the attachment that we have in us, we're unable to see the nature in us. We think that the nature has gone, has lost, but actually it's there. But we get nervous. We don't know what to do. So we start to search around. It's just like in the forest, running here and there, very tiring. The energy has get weaker and weaker. But the ox is there. And why are we searching so hard? We need to know about the reason. So second stage, as according to the poem, along the river bank, under the trees, I discovered footprints. Even under the fragrant glass, I see his prints. Deep in remote mountains, they are found. This trace no more can be hidden than one's nose looking into the air. In this stage, the practitioner understanding the teachings. In a way, the practitioner starts to see some hint of the footprints of the ox. The practitioner finds indications, the clues in one or more spiritual teachings. He is attached by books of wisdom, reading a lot of books. He attends classes in various subjects, looking into all kinds of subjects to explore his searching. He learned from different teachers and masters. He hoped to learn from different people, getting different type of opinions or education from them, or knowledge from them. He learned meditation, attend Dharma classes, learn yoga, etc. All kinds of ways to search for the ox. The practitioner realized that there are people searching like him. He is not alone. In the path of searching, the more he searched, the more he realized that there are people like him searching around, looking about themselves, looking about this world. His search is more focused and getting better with confidence. In this stage, the practitioner has a better picture of what he is looking for. He has companion, other practitioners practicing the way he practiced, searching the way he's searching. He's no more lonely. His fear has getting lesser and lesser. The feeling of loneliness has getting lesser and lesser. So he has the confidence. He see the footprints a little bit, but this a little bit built up his greater confidence in continue to search his true nature and makes him more focused on where to look into it. Stage 3. As according to the poem, I hear the song of the person who carrying a tune. The sun is warm, the wind is mild, willows are green along the shore. Here, no ox can hide. What artist can draw that messy head, those royal horns? In this stage, when one hears the voice, one can sense its source. The practitioner feel it, see it. He look into the source of the voice. He look into the source of the nature. He look into the source of why the ox is lost. As soon as the six senses merge, the gate is entered. Wherever one enters, one sees the head of the ox. The practitioner first spiritual experience. He gets to see his true self and feel that internal energy that awakens within him. The first sight is any kind of vision or unusual experience that stimulates the individuals to follow the path towards that which is transcendental. In here, the practitioner starts to hear the voice and look into his sense of source. He starts to reflect on his six organs. And in this point of time, when he starts to learn to reflect, he starts to open up his gate and enter into it, which means that he starts to see the head of the ox. In here, the ox cannot hide anymore. The practitioner has to have the courage to see the complete picture of the ox. This is the first spiritual experience of a practitioner. He might come with joy, he might come with fear, he might come with sadness. Doesn't matter. These are all experience because he sees his internal energy. This energy awakens him. He sees who he is. The first sight of this experience is unusual. And this unusual feeling or experience will lead a practitioner to the path of transcend. A person are able to transcend out when he sees himself more clearly. Stage 4, as according to the poem. I grasp him with a great struggle. His great will and power are infinite. He charges to the high hill far above the crowd mist, or in a firm ravine he stands. In this stage 4, the ox has been in the forest for a long, long time. He's not used to be controlled by anyone. And now the practitioner wants to catch him. It's not easy. He has been free, doing what he wants for a long time. But now somebody wants to control it, so it struggles. The ox struggles strongly. The ox is stubborn and does not follow the practitioner. The practitioner will have difficulties to control the ox. It symbolizes our struggle with our basic nature, something that can last a whole lifetime. And in this stage, the practitioner must analyze if he is advancing or attaining a clearer understanding, or is he simply stuck and protecting himself behind certain doctrines or ideas related to spiritual practice. In here, the struggle is great, just like in our meditation. When we start to calm ourselves down, the thought arises. We hope to seize it. We hope to manage it, but it's not easy. We are controlled by our thoughts, not we control the thoughts. The thought is the ox. The ox is struggling strongly because it has been free for a long time. And now, the practitioner has to be very clear that it is he understanding the practice, or is he giving himself a reason that he's stuck in certain teachings of the doctrine, or he is stuck in certain practice, and giving himself an excuse or reason that why he's doing this. He's not freeing himself, but he's stuck with certain traditional type of things. So in here, the struggle is big. Most of the time, the practitioner will get weaker and weaker because he gets tired of looking at himself. The struggle, the another side of himself. But if a practitioner are able to get through this struggle, able to comfort his own nature, able to control the ox, then he's able to transcend himself out from his habit of attachment. And this is stage 4. Stage 5. As according to the poem, the whip and rope are necessary, else he might stray off down some dusty road. Being well trained, he becomes naturally gentle. Then, unbound, he obeys his master. In stage 5, when one thought arises, another thought follows. When the first thought springs from enlightenment, all subsequent thoughts are true. Through delusion, one makes everything untrue. This represents the control of the physical and mental nature. This is attained by knowing it. In other words, listening and dialoguing with it. The ox let himself be guided by the practitioner. In here, as I mentioned earlier, one thought arises. Another thought starts to arise. All these thoughts are untrue. It's just a memory. It will come and it will go, but we are unable to control it. But when we start to realize that we have to manage it, it's the time that the thoughts has to follow what we say. In here, then this thought is a true thought. All delusion will remove. All untrue will be pushed aside. It represents that a practitioner control its physical and mental nature, knowing that we have to communicate with ourselves, dialogue with ourselves. And in here, then we start to manage the ox, and the ox start to listen to us. So when we're doing meditation, communicating to oneself is very important. The more we communicate to ourselves, the more we are able to dig out our deepest habit in us. Sometimes we don't even know that we have this habit. But the more we talk, the more we know better and have a clearer picture. Next stage, stage 6, as according to the poem. Mounting the ox, slowly I returned home. The voice of my flute intones through the evening, measuring with hand beats the lively harmony. I direct the endless rhythm. Whoever hear this melody will join me. In here, the struggle is over. Gain and loss are integrated. The practitioner sings the village song and play the tones of the children. Riding the ox, the practitioner observes the clouds above. Onwards the practitioner goes. The struggle is over. The practitioner has attained the state of enlightenment. In this stage, the practitioner is over the struggle with the ox. The ox has been controlled by the practitioner. So there's no more gain and loss because no more struggle. In here, the practitioner with joy, he experiences the time whereby he's able to manage his own nature. He's able to know himself completely. The joy is so great that he sings the song. He plays the flute. And also, he rides the ox. And the ox calmly allows the practitioner to ride it. So everything is towards the path of enlightenment. And this is the stage where the practitioner reached to the beginning stage of enlightenment. Next stage, stage 7, as according to the poem. Riding the ox, I reach home. I am serene. The ox too can rest. The dawn has come. In blissful peacefulness within my hedged house, I've abandoned the whip and rope. In here, ox forgotten, person remain. In this stage, all in one law, not two, the ox and the person are merged into one. We only make the ox a temporary subject, as something we visualize on. The practitioner is alone and happy, sitting by his house. The ox is no longer visible. The practitioner has become one with the beings. Instead of the formal efforts, a state of peace and happiness remained. The practitioner has transcended from duality. In the beginning, there's a practitioner, there's an ox. They struggle, they try to manage each other, they try to control each other. It's two different things. And after that, the practitioner control the ox, ride on the ox. It's still two entities. Riding the ox, singing the song, playing the flute, riding home, is still two entities. But in this stage, these two entities merge into one. The ox is no more visible. It just remains the practitioner. The practitioner rests in front of his house. He's back to his own nature. No more struggling, no more effort. In this stage, the practitioner way of feeling is peace and happiness. Undescribable. Because in this stage, he transcends out from duality. There's no ox and there's no practitioner. Stage 8, as according to the poem. whip and rope, man and ox, all empty. The vast blue sky difficult to measure. How can a snow survive inside a burning stove? Now I join the enlightened ones of the past. In this stage, everything is gone. The practitioner and the ox are all gone. Mind is clear of limitation. The practitioner seeks no state of enlightenment. Neither to the practitioner remained where no enlightenment exists. Since the practitioner stay in neither condition, eyes cannot see him. If hundreds of birds spread his path with flowers, such praise will be meaningless. All has infused itself into nothingness. We can only observe a circle with nothing inside, which means all opposites have disappeared. In this stage, everything has disappeared. Things become empty, including the practitioner, the ox, and everything around. There's no duality. There's no limitation. In this stage, the practitioner experiences enlightenment. Everything around him is no more important. He understands the cause of the existence of everything around him. So, he does not need to use eyes to see. He does not need to use mouth to say. He does not need to use ear to hear. Because everything is infused in him. Everything and him is just like a circle. There's no beginning, there's no end. Because it's all infused in one. There's no opposition. There's just oneness. So this is stage 8. Stage 9, as according to the poem. It is struggle to return to the source and origin. Nothing surpasses this without sight or sound. Unable to see the tree from the woods, the water vast, the flowers red because it is so. In this stage, from the beginning, true is clear. Everything in silence. The practitioner observes the forms of integration and disintegrations of one another. One who is not attached to form need not be reformed. The water is navy blue. The mountain is bright green. And the practitioner sees that which is creating and that which is destroying. Each time, he wishes he can go within himself and see life through it. All is in peace. In this stage, the practitioner sees the things again. But at this time, everything is clear in front of him. Everything is as what is supposed to be. The water is supposed to be blue. The mountain is supposed to be green. The flower is supposed to be blossoming. All these things will create by itself or condition. It will also destroy by itself or conditions. The practitioner knows about this. The practitioner sees the creating. The practitioner also sees the destroying. So, whenever he goes, he sees lives. The life of cause and condition. He sees the nature. He sees the truth. And that's the reason why all things are in peace. Because he sees it, he understands it, he accepts it, and he transcends it. This is stage 9. Stage 10, as according to the poem. Bare chest and barefoot entering the world, covered with dust and ashes, smiling broadly. There's no need for magic spell to make the unfertile flower bloom. In here, the practitioner entering the marketplace with helping hands. In this drawing, the practitioner now directs himself to other beings to help them, to share his experience of enlightenment. He put all his wisdom at their service. He wandered around the masses and guide people to the path of enlightenment. In here, the practitioner has to return back to the world, as according to the poem, to the marketplace, back to the people, back to the masses. What is the reason? To share the enlightenment of end of suffering, to share the enlightenment of true self. At the same time, the practitioner to serve all these people. So when a person enlightened, doesn't mean that the person will be away from the people. He still needs to return back to the masses, to serve, to share, and to transcend himself and other people together. So look at the 10 pictures of this ox herding, from one stage to another stage. It is the path of searching on the Buddha nature. The practitioner starts the path of searching from the beginning of knowing nothing, of worrying, of fear, of running around, exhausting, weakening. But the next stage, he starts to see the footprint. He realized that there's something there that is in himself. He sees the footprints, but he's not sure yet. So he continued to search in various forms and realized that he's not alone. A lot of people, same as him, searching around the true nature. He learned from different teachers with different teachings. He realized the picture. But in all these are knowledge to him that will only guide him to further look into himself. And when he starts to reflect on himself, he starts to struggle with himself, which we call the ox. He sees the image of the ox, the nature of the ox. The ox is not easy to manage. The ox struggle, fight against. And the practitioner needs to use the rope, use whip to manage the ox. This is something that needs to be used in order to make the ox calm down, listens to the practitioner. And when the ox starts to calm down, it's time for the practitioner to look deeper into himself, the peace and happiness, serenity feeling. In here, the practitioner understands the emptiness of the ox and himself. When he understands this, he transcends himself from duality. There's no him, there's no ox. So the practitioner look into it and realize that everything in this world are in oneness because they are caused by cause and condition. So that's why they are in the nature of emptiness. If there is a nature of emptiness, then this will lead a practitioner to the stage of peace. Everything arises, everything will cease. Everything created, everything will also destroyed. So what's the purpose of attaching to things? We treasure every moment, but we do not attach to things. When it's time for it to be gone, we will let it go. So when the practitioner understands the true nature of himself and also this phenomenal world, he's already reached to the stage of enlightenment. And at this point of time, it's a time for him to return back to the marketplace, to share his experience with the others, and also serve the others in order for all of us together to reach to the stage of enlightenment, to end all suffering, and live a happy life. So in this 10 ox herding pictures, it guides us in path by path or stage by stage on how we do our meditation, how we feel when we are doing meditation, and it gives us the confidence that we are not alone. All practitioners will experience the same type of things when they are doing meditation. So if we know that we are not alone, we have the energy of continuing to move on. Why? Because there are people already enlightened through this path of practice. And this is the Master Guo An. And if we follow this path of practice, we are able to reach to the stage of peace and happiness in our life. And we are able to manage our life better with people around us, and most important, with ourselves. So in these sessions, we will learn about how to do practice through this 10th ox herding picture. And today will be the end of this session. Thank you very much. Om Ni To Fo.